So, before we get in this video tonight, I just want to thank Tom Hosang at Tom Hosang Outdoors for shouting me out in his video. Really appreciate it, man. You're doing awesome testing. If everyone could just go over to his page, his channel, check him out, Tom Hosang. I'll put his links down in the fucking descriptions and shit. Check him out. Cool dude, cool to talk to. Really passionate about all this, all this testing, and honestly, he's just one of the guys that I've looked up to as far as testing and just getting a perspective or different perspective on things. So, yeah. So, I just wanted to do shout outs before we get started on this video. So, thanks a lot, guys. Peace. What's up, guys? How's it going? Got a little bit, carried away today. Decided to clean my garage, situate some things around. I just realized I have space to put a marker board up there. I might have to switch my board over there. Anyway, so in cleaning my garage today, had a lot of time to think. And actually ran a test the other day on the CPM-4v, the St. Nick's exclusive. And the results I got were 300 cuts on the rope. Now, if you look back on other episodes, you'll notice that that did exactly the same as the K390 that I did. And I think the reason for that was because the K390 was ran at a more polished edge. And in my experience and a lot of other people's experience, requires a more toothy edge to perform a different way. And so we're going to run that test tonight. But first I wanted to get into just kind of like a really, hopefully a quick overview of like the heat treating and all that stuff and all the shit that's been going on. Obviously we all know HRC matters. We know behind the edge matters in certain materials. We know use of knife matters. All of these things correlate into how well our knife is going to perform for us. There's people that don't want a thinner edge and are just fine with stock, and that's fine. But getting back to the heat treat part is I've been doing a lot of research and reading on some forums, even though I hate going on there. And I keep coming back to Phil Wilson just because he was the godfather of basically modern CPM steels and those non-stainless tool steels. And his knowledge is it just needs to be not taken with a grain of salt. It needs to be taken like very literally. This dude has invested his entire life into all of this stuff. And it's stuff that people will argue against. And I think that that's ridiculous, first of all. And second of all, just shut the fuck up, because that guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. Almost 100% of the data sheets out there are targeting, it's basically a sales sheet is what it is. It's targeting customers to sell a steel. For whatever application it may be, it's not intended for knives. Let's just put it that way. And they're trying to target 95%, or not 95, 100% of their customer base, and they're trying to cater to 98% of those customers in regards of how the steel performs. So wear resistance versus toughness and all that stuff. What these temperatures are in the data sheets is kind of like a safe zone, if you will. Between these temperatures are what they found in their research to be optimal toughness and optimal wear resistance. So that's why we're not going to take the data sheets as Bible when it comes to knives, and more importantly when it comes to higher performing knives in regards of wear resistance, because those are going to just be, lower end is going to be more impact toughness, higher end is going to be toughness but more on the wear resistance part. If we go beyond that temperature, there's a lot of arguments too. I mean, this is fact that like higher temperature at a longer soak time will grow grains, which is bad for toughness. In some aspects, it's also bad for wear resistance because a lot of smaller grains will turn into, when it turns into martensite, are actually harder. So there are certain temperatures that we can take it to for certain times will give us a higher hardness that isn't on the data sheet. Companies like Spyderco are not going to do that. They're going to stick within a range, and I think, unfortunately, the range is higher on these sprints or on most of these knives. Because they don't disclose that range, they don't have to really be held accountable because it's like, it's in between 62 and 64, so we're in spec. Anything outside of that, 65 and higher with these CPM-4v, PM2 knives, or any of those St. Nick sprint runs, anything outside of that 64 range that's higher is a bonus. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as they're within a certain range and they hit that range on a few test pieces, they're gonna ship it, regardless. I don't think it's like, and I know where people are coming from, they're like, oh man, I wish they fucking did this and I wish they fucking did that, but like they're not going to. So, two options. Either do a bunch of research, get everyone together, find a few guys, and reheat all our blades to what we want them to be at, because it is possible. It's also possible that it could get damaged during that process and you could just lose your blade altogether. However, if we do enough research, I think that that's definitely possible. And two, again, come together as a community and kind of get a different level of knife from these companies. So if we want to pay a little bit extra more money, or a little bit extra money, to get like another level or tier, I've heard a lot of this being talked about not only on Instagram but also on Reddit and places like that. Just having another level in these certain companies, kind of like Benchmade does with their gold class, except they don't treat it any differently. Just throw different fucking scales on. Anyway, I digress. Come together as a community and kind of get that, category in there. I know Spyderco already has a club where you can, pay a certain amount of money and you get, these certain knives, these sprints, whatever. You have to buy every single one of them. I think it would be cool if there was another club, or another level rather, that like, I'm going to spend this much money, or I'm going to buy every single higher class knife that comes out, and I'm 100% committed that I'm going to buy every single one of those. And I don't need to worry about these other ones that you're going to come out with. I think that they would make money off of that as well. Will it happen? Who knows? I'm not part of those forums, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys, because I don't do well on forums. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so getting back to the heat treating part. CPM-4v, heat treated within a range of, hang on, I have the data sheet right here. So for optimal wear resistance, we're heat treating at 2100 degrees. We're doing a 15-minute soak and then quenching either in air or oil. Oil is going to yield you 1 or 1.5 points higher. So for balanced wear and toughness, 1875 to 1950. So they give you that 2 temperature range there. And then the lowest range is optimal for toughness, which is 1800 degrees. So for 30 minutes, quench, boom. So like I said, in that range, that's where Crucible is going to sell to 98% of their customers, and that's where 98% of their customers need that seal to be. Outside of that is going to be reserved for just a niche market, which is mostly custom knife makers, and they're not going to cater to that because there's no fucking money in it. Bottom line. Same thing with K390. going to be, I think the highest we're going to get is 2,156 in that area. It's all in Celsius, so 1180, 2156. So that's the highest range for that. And then that also has a secondary hardening. I think CPM-4v does as well. Secondary hardening in your tempering. So if you go to 950 to 975, you're going to up it to 66, probably even higher than that if you do a cryo and, you know, take care of everything. So, and again, doing research in these forums, as far as grain growth in the CPM steels, there's a whole lot of guys out there that have, you know, cranked the temperature up on these steels and have not found a significant grain growth in a lot of these CPM steels or these micro clean steels or third metal or third generation powder metal steels or whatever. The grains are so fine that it's just, I'm not saying it's not impossible, but also I'm saying that like it's not probable at the temperatures and the time that these are being held at. But there's obviously more research needed to be done. And I did do a dive into it, and a lot of testing as far as research and development and metallurgy, a lot of these people have tested these steels, and it's a very long time that you need to hold at higher temperatures. It's like hours to, 2 hours or so. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm going to run this test really quick and then we're going to talk about it. But I think that's what needed to be said, and it wasn't said in the other video that I made, so I scrapped that and wanted to just say it here. So we have the CPM-4v at 22 thousandths behind the edge. Third sharpening, and we have a 62.5 HRC, as you saw before I tested it, and a 30 to 35 degrees inclusive. And then we have the K390 at 23 thousandths behind the edge at 63 HRC, and same 30 to 35 thousandths behind 30 to 35 degrees inclusive edge. One thing you didn't see that was in the other video, I ordered new rope. It came in, or I was supposed to get 5/8. It came in at 3/4 inch. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think it's just the matter of, how long the knife stays on the rope. That's the only thing. We're going to see, like I said, that CPM-4v came in at 300 cuts and had a coarse edge. We have a coarse edge on the other guy now, so let's see what that does. And I reckon it's going to be a little bit more. We'll see. And we'll talk about it. So, cool. I guess we'll start with the results. CPM-4v at 62.5 HRC did 300 cuts again. And then the K390 at the CPM-4v was at 62.5, it did 300 cuts. And then the K390 at 63 HRC did 360 cuts. And we have a increase of 20% over the 4v. Again, not again, but I think carbides have, you know, a factor in wear resistance on these rope cutting tests, but I think hardness plays a bigger factor. These, and I'm sure I'm gonna get like slaughtered online about it, but like, it is what it is. Like, that's the test. I actually have a piece of paper to show you where these edges are in the front. Like, it can still cut, but it's like very, very jagged. Okay? That's where I stopped the test. It didn't cleanly cut the paper like that. And then for the K390, same thing. I mean, it's still able to cut rope. It's still able to probably cut your skin, but for paper, it's just not going to cut. And here's the back end, like, clean. And that's where I stop it. So, yeah, I mean, is it bad? No, it's not. It's actually really good. Edge retention, as far as cutting rope, which is like, in my opinion, the extreme case scenario. I carried both of these for a week, used them for a solid week. The K390 first, I was, you know, hacking through, you know, everyone lives off of Amazon and online shopping now, so we have a ton of cardboard, so I was just ripping through cardboard. We drink water from plastic, like, jugs. We have like a water machine because our water fucking sucks here. And I cut those up before I throw them in the recycling bin, so cut a few of those. I mean, everyday tasks like that, probably gonna be okay. All of that rope I just cut, I mean, that's pretty good. And after, you know, carrying the K390 and using it, just stropping it back on a 1 micron diamond strop did a world of good. The CPM-4v, same thing. When I first got it, I fucking just sharpened the shit out of it. I didn't even use the factory edge on it. And, I mean, the edge was great. I have 3 sharpenings into it now. And, again, use it for cardboard. I did notice, I cut up a huge box today. I did notice that, and this is without sharpening it all week, that it was getting a little, like, it was kind of hanging on the cardboard. So, stropping it back, I mean, it was back to almost hair whittling. And, I mean, yeah. Again, you know, browsing, you know, the Phil Wilson archives on the Blade forums, he's got a lot of quotes, like, just CPM-10v, because he's, like, the godfather of that. And he said, like, CPM-10v at 63 HRC is good, but CPM-10v at 64 HRC does crazier shit, basically. Not in his words, but, like, basically what he said is it's just a whole nother animal. And I think because these scales are very logarithmic and they just go fucking, they skyrocket once you hit a certain HRC, then once we hit that threshold, we need to, like, those are where the knives need to be. You see a lot of guys, older folks that will be heat treating at like 69 and 60, 61 range with some of these seals, and like, holy shit, why is it so hard? Oh my God, it's gonna break. Let's be the next generation and fucking let's just crank it up a notch. Let's see what these fucking things can do. Like I said, I'm gonna put myself out there and fucking just I'm gonna make a bunch of test shit. Like, it's gonna come out of my pocket. I'm gonna pay for it with whatever regrinds I get in and whatever knives I sell. I mean, I've been making knives for a little over 3 years now. And just, you know, kind of honing my craft at the latter end of that and really getting into this. Like, I think my whole thing was I wanted to give performance to people at a fair price, and that's what I'm gonna do, is just kind of give a performance that I feel is very high performing at a fair price. I know other guys are doing their niches, so I'm going to let that be, but I'm going to do my own thing, and that's what I'm going to be about. But also I want everyone to see, like, what does 66 HRC K390 do in a blade that's 15 to 10 thousandths behind the edge? What happens? I can tell you, fucking, it's awesome, because I have K390, but I had Peter's heat treated at 66 and went 15 thou behind the edge, and it was fucking destroyed cardboard. So that's where we're gonna go with this. And I think that the more traction that, if people are like, oh, fuck this blade, I want it reheat treated, and it gets reheat treated and it gets on Instagram, because fucking social media didn't exist back then. Social media barely existed in 2009. Like, it existed, but it didn't exist like it does now. And that's where a lot of these guys were reheat treating blades well before 2009. Phil Wilson was doing it. Fucking, there's a few guys on blade forums that were doing it, and just not like advertising it. So I think that it needs to be advertised. And there's a few instances where people have reheat treated blades, and they're like, you know, here it is, like, did this thing, and then it kind of just like, it disappears, and you see it for that second, unless you go back in the history and you can look at it. I mean, kind of like with blade forums or whatever forum you have, that everything's on the internet. But I mean, like, as far as getting it into companies' faces, like if you had a soft M390 and you fucking reheated it, and just like, hey, I reheated this, or got this reheated, and it's in fucking people's faces, and they're like, fuck, like, the fuck are they doing? Like, we could fucking make way more money on this if we just charge a little more and just spend a little more care. I don't know. I'm sure there's something in production that just, it doesn't really allow for it, but who knows? Maybe there is, I don't know. But I think that's where things are gonna go, is just, I think people are gonna take it into their own hands, get shit done, and if it gets on the internet and the right people see it, then I think the community as a whole will benefit. Customs are just a totally different thing. Like, a lot of customs are just, they're too much money, or there's a lot of time and care into them. A lot of them are fixed blades. If they are a folder, it's very, very, like, again, time consuming and difficult on your machines to, like, deal with that kind of material. You get in the high 70s with a lot of this HRC on a lot of these blades, and it's just gonna destroy abrasives. And you're gonna spend way more money on abrasives than it would cost to just heat treat it at a lower optimal, you know, happy medium. So it is what it is. CPM-4v at 300 cuts, K390 at 360. Let me have it. Again, rope is a totally different beast compared to cardboard. Even the numbers that some guys are pulling off of cardboard and some of these steels are fucking very impressive. Should they be higher? Yeah, they should. But again, we're in their current predicament. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Smash that fucking thumbs up. Smash that thumbs down. I don't give a fuck. Oven should be here in a couple weeks. Talk to the folks at Even Heat, and gonna try to get a sticker on my HRC tester at some point. It's just way too much money currently. So we'll see what happens. If you need some regrinds, hit me up. They're pretty affordable. I'm not fucking charging outrageous money. I enjoy fucking regrinding because I get to come out here and just relax and listen to my tunes and just fucking do my thing. So, but thanks for watching, guys. Let me know. Hopefully everyone's, you know, staying safe with this fake flu that's going around. And yeah, let's fucking do some fucking cool testing shit. Yeah. So yeah, thanks.